Okay, so the first strat we're going to look at is Na'Vi versus Team Heretics on round 10. Everyone has a buy, and Team Heretics have decided to go 5 into B main. Usually this will look really weird, because generally teams are going to want to try and do a push and pull with rotations, and have some sort of lurk, do something quite tricky around the map, right, macro-wise. Team Heretics are not doing this. They're just going 5 into B main. So the first part of the round isn't really important. They just simply go 5 into B main and execute. And they get delayed by a molly. Mini B is it by himself, and he gets traded 1-for-1. It's simply how the start of the round has went. And then we actually have entered where Team Heretics really, really wanted to get to in the round. They got to the post plant, and they planted in a very specific position that is actually really, really safe, which makes this strat really, really good. Because it means that you don't have to like struggle to get like a very specific plant spot that is really difficult to get, like you might get on some other maps for specific strong post plants. Like you don't have to get like one of the open spots over here, something. You have to get like one of the most safe spots, if not the safest spot on B site, which is really, really good. So the fade all came in and got 2, which is going to be largely irrelevant, as Na'Vi will take their time on the post anyway. And now you can see this smoke go down by Boo. This smoke stops anyone from Na'Vi from pushing them and actually taking any favourable fights, taking any long angles onto them, basically. There's no way you can realistically push this angle. And you're going to basically run into 4 players, 3 players looking at you. You're not going to win any fights here. And we can actually see that demonstrated by Ardis coming through the smoke. Even someone stunned, and you're just dead. There's 4 players looking at you. And this is a very important part as well. The ping goes down onto the bomb, and it's super easy because half the bomb diffuse zone is in the wall. Like half the bomb that where you can normally diffuse from is in the wall. So it means that there's very little places that they can actually sit and diffuse. So it's really easy to spam them. So that's the reason why this post plant is really, really strong. And I think that most teams are going to take this post. And at this point as well, so 1v4. So they don't have to like do any resmokes or anything. I'm not sure if he even had did he have a resmoke? I don't think he did. No, he didn't. Oh, actually, he might have done. Hang on. No, I don't think he did. He was just going to let it drop anyway. Made more sense. And then there's 4 players fighting 1 guy in the open. So it's a pretty impossible round at that point. So this is the first strat. I think that this strat is one of the best ones for post plant on Sunset as a whole anyway. And I can definitely see teams playing for this as much as possible. Okay, so the second strat we're going to look at is once again including Team Heretics. However, we're actually going to be looking at KC. It's the pistol round of the second half on Icebox. And KC are going to send 4 players into A main. Team Heretics are actually going to make a nice play and get the first kill of the round. Magnum. And at this point, I think that these players are just looking to freeze a tiny bit, especially because they do get the right does get silenced. So I think they're kind of freezing and just hoping for the best that they can maybe get a pick on someone taking a very weird peek. Moisey also wants to get a potential kill on the single Viper over here. I'm pretty sure both these players are aware they're in a 1v1 right now. So they are trying to get the pick on each other if they're possible, because they know that they're probably going to be very little influence. So they've had enough waiting at A main, and they're going to send the Wraith all the way back over to B while inserting the Sage and the Jet. So they're going to keep the Sage and the Jet in A main, and they're going to send the Gecko over. So I actually think that this kill on the enemy Viper for KC might have actually worked against them with this strat, because I think the Viper delaying the plant sells it to Team Heretics even more that they're delaying the plant, right? And so I think that they don't get sold for long enough, right? You can see that Miniboo actually realised, that the team realised when Miniboo was on the stairs, but now they've actually kind of already walked into A main. So now they already have control of A, which is really, really good from KC map-wise. They've managed to kind of rotate the enemy out of the site completely, and it just creates a really, really nice situation for them. This wall also means that they're probably really baited to go into screens, which means Rienz ends up dying to Martin because Martin had a really, really strong position, baited by the wall. And obviously the trades kind of go in KC's favour, and Benji Fishy is left in a really difficult situation with 15 HP. Really, really good strat by KC, whether it was mid-round calling or something they had already prepped, ready for like a situation like this. But yeah, really, really good round by KC. So I have an honorable mention for Sentinels versus Loud on round 19 for Bind. Both teams are on full buys, and we have an ult, which doesn't really matter in what I'm actually talking about. But Loud are going to have a pretty explosive start to this round. They're going to send 4 players down B long. They also have a flash on this wall, and the reason why Sassy didn't die here is because Zekken could hear all these players run down long, and he was coming sassy to go back. And the reason why I know that those were the comms is because Zekin was talking about it on his stream. And I think this strat actually has potential. If theoretically a player is not here to hear this play, as far as I know, like this seems to be one of the few things that would stop this play from working, because the long players can't hear the players running down long like this until they're actually already fighting them. So I think this play has potential. Not sure if we will see it in Madrid. It's the reason why it's kind of an honorable mention. The fact that the fact that it's already been used by Loud might mean that it actually we won't see it at Madrid. But I hope we do. I think it's a pretty cool strat, and I think it does have a chance to win if you know a team doesn't particularly like to take this portion of the map early on in bind, and they like to take some long. Maybe you can punish like a lurk here potentially and that kind of stuff by doing this sort of play if you need to. Yeah, I thought it'd just be a nice honorable mention. So there you go. Okay, so the last round we're going to look at is going to be Sentinels versus Loud once again. It's going to be on Icebox round 9. And the majority of players have guns, apart from just Tens doesn't have a gun. And everyone else is kind of like on light armor, more or less. Aside from a heavy armor and Kevin. And we're going to be focusing mainly on the Harbour for Loud and how they kind of play with it. So the first thing we're going to look at is going to be how Loud are actually playing the start of the round. They have the Viper holding for any mid aggression. They have a Killjoy turret that's going to be placed over here. And then they're going to strong side over towards B main. And take B main with a cascade followed up by a drone or a dart. This round is going to be a drone, and I think they actually adapt eventually and do a dart here, and then they drone later. So the reason why they actually do adapt here eventually is because they're going to get stuck in a minute. So you can also see the Viper and the Killjoy have gone back. The Killjoy turret is actually dead. Sassy actually shot it, and that turret did its job. It's just checking for any aggression over there. So it checked for aggression, it found aggression. So they assume that someone is going to be like towards like the pipes area of A main, like this sort of area of A main, which is not wrong. Sorry. But then we see this Harbour wall. This Harbour wall is really, really interesting, and the reason why they don't actually push here is because they place this Harbour wall with the intention, I think, of punishing someone in this region, potentially swinging them. I think that's the reason why this wall goes down like this, and they don't use it to cross to yellow. Is my guess, because they can always use the Viper wall to cross the yellow anyway, so they don't particularly need this one to cross the yellow. You can also see the pings coming in as well from Loud. They think that someone could be there, I think, is the reason why these pings go down. And you will actually see Kevin Z's dart actually just check for it as well eventually. So the wall goes down, and they start to walk up now with the Viper wall up. And you'll actually see the Viper dart come in at the same time, like there. So the Viper dart came in, the Sova dart came in. It's going to detect yellow. It's kind of as a byproduct, to be honest. I think he's just... Actually, no, I think it is actually the thing that he's doing. I think he is actually detecting back yellow here, because no one has... they've kind of walked out slow here, and no one's checked back yellow, so he's checking back yellow with the dart. And I think he gets a bit lucky here, to be honest, and turns marginally unlucky. The reason why is because the flash has popped. Kevin Z was looking straight at it. He's not flashed. The reason why he's not flashed is because the orb went down as it kind of popped, and he got kind of lucky with the timing there. And Tens is losing the fight to Kevin Z there. Very, very unlucky, I think, for Tens. But we're very well played by Loud overall to get to this position. And we'll kind of wait out any aggression that was being done by from yellow. So now Sadag actually goes for the plant, and I think generally, they're a bit too slow here to punish him planting. They don't molly in time, and he gets the plant down. And this is where I think the Harbour has the biggest impact. Where he kind of puts the wall down. I'm not saying the biggest impact, but he has a quite big impact here. He puts the wall down, the cascade down over to Snowman, and just delays any Snowman pushes. And then his wall comes down, and this is where it gets really, really difficult for Sentinel. Because now danger becomes a very viable option for someone to sit in. Like, this region is now more viable for someone to sit in. It makes it a bit harder with the Viper ult. The Viper ult is actually quite good here against it in some ways, because you can kind of peek in a lot of different angles, and this isn't open. So the idea with this Harbour wall is that when someone peeks through the Harbour wall, they're going to get met with someone danger, yellow, like main, right? There's going to be like 4 angles they get shot by. That's the idea with this Harbour wall, right? And it's exactly the same with the Viper wall. It's just that you have such a big uptime on those 2 walls with them both being there. And yeah, as you can see, Kevin Z goes danger, gets 2 kills. Pretty good. John QT ends up saving. Yeah, so this is just like a video highlighting all the plays that we might see in Madrid. And I think that This one's probably the more likely ones because this is just generally how Loud like to play Icebox. So if we see Loud on Icebox, I reckon we're going to see plays like this. The other ones may be a bit more fringe. And I think fully expect players. I fully expect teams to take the Team Heretics one that I showed off first. And we might end up seeing some more explosive rounds, very similar to the honorable mention that Loud had produced on Bind. So I hope you enjoyed. If you enjoyed this content, please subscribe. It really, really helps me out. And I'll see you in my next one.